Good morning, Bertram Park Middle School. Happy Monday! Welcome back to another full week here at Bertram Park Middle School. At this time, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. All right, students, just a couple announcements for this week. This is really important. Mr. Allen talked about it on the Friday announcements, and I wanted to reiterate it again because it is that important. iReady is happening this week. This is such an important diagnostic tool for us to really understand what's going on with your thought process in a particular content area. So it's important for us to see how well you're learning, and this gives us the tools that we need to be able to tailor the education as best as we can to fit your needs. So really what it comes down to is not trying to get a grade. Who cares about the grade? It's not about the grade. It's about what you know and how well you can do it. And if you're struggling in any area, that's fine. It's totally okay because the test is going to tell us the areas that you're going to need the most help in. And that will determine how we best teach you and give you the best educational experience here at Bertram Park Middle School. It's a time for you to give it your best, really focus, buckle down, push away all of the distractions, zero in on that test so that you can really show us everything that you know in order for us to give you the best educational experience possible. So please take it seriously. This Wednesday, this is super cool, very important. It's open house. It's our virtual open house. We couldn't be more pumped for Wednesday to come to meet all of your parents and for your parents to meet all of us. It's going to be great, but we need your help with this because in order for this to work, your parents are going to have to log in as you on your Chromebooks. And then you can help them with that. So it's a really good way for your parents to really experience what the online remote learning experience is like. So help your parents get logged in. They're going to log in as you, and they're going to follow your schedule. We're going to shrink all of the classes down to 14 minutes, so it's not going to be a full day, but it's going to go in the same order as it would as if it was a real day. And what's really going to help your parents out is that organization document that you worked on this past Monday in advisory, last Monday in advisory. And if parents just click on the link to each of the classes, it will take them right where they need to go, and they get to meet all of your awesome teachers, and everyone just gets to talk about how awesome you are. Who doesn't want that? So make sure that you help your parents out with that at 6:30 on Wednesday so they can follow your schedule and hear what the expectations and the learning is like for each of your classes. Okay, I think that now that we are in our second full week, it's a good time to remind ourselves what our behavioral expectations are in each of our classes across the board. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to talk a little bit about discipline here, and not discipline as in you're gonna get in trouble kind of discipline. I'm going to talk about discipline as in having the self-control to be able to be your best self. All right, that's the kind of discipline that I'm going to talk about in order to get us through and really understand what the behavioral expectations are. All right, so have self-control, have strong will. Are you ready? Okay, remember, camera's on. You might not be feeling that great. You might not think that you're looking up to snuff, but I guarantee you that you're looking good enough to be on camera. All right, so make sure that you are on camera. Also, be on time. You don't have to move from one classroom to the next, from one classroom to the next, or go down the hall, or go across the building. It's simple. It's simply a matter of clicking on another link. So there's really no excuse for you to be late to class. If anything, you should be waiting and ready and make sure that you are on time. Okay? Have your materials ready. Like again, you shouldn't have to go to your locker. You shouldn't have to go down the hallway. Everything that you need should be right in front of you. So make sure that those materials are ready. Make sure that you stay engaged. No, I'm not talking about getting married. You don't have to get married. That's fine. All right. Wait. You're all young enough. All that stuff can wait. And if you don't ever want to get married, that's fine too. Your choice is yours. The engagement that I'm talking about really is how well you are interacting with your learning, with your peers, with your teacher. Okay, this is your learning experience. All of us, old folk, we've gone through this already. We have experienced middle school. We've had our education. We have learned in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Now it is your time, all right? So make sure that your teacher isn't doing all of the work. You want to engage in your own learning. And if you love your learning so much, you can get married to it. No distractions. Look, you're at your house. All your fun stuff is there. I get it. You might get distracted. This is where the self-discipline comes in. This is the discipline that I'm talking about. Have the strength and the wherewithal to push away your distractions. No one loves my pet more than me. My dog is my best friend. Her name is Maybe. She's ancient. She's out of breath when she's just sitting on the couch, but I love her nonetheless. Even though right now she's nowhere near me, I can smell her because she's that stinky. Still love her, but if I was in class, I wouldn't have her next to me as much as I love her. So we're really asking all of you to make sure that you're putting away all of your distractions so you can zero in and stay engaged. Okay, remember that attendance is being taken, so we're really monitoring who is where. So unless no one wants to have myself call home to say, hey, so-and-so wasn't in class today, and we don't want to get anyone in trouble, so make sure that you are going to class. Make sure that you're sitting in a designated learning spot. That means a place in the house where you are going to be able to do everything that we just talked about, where you're going to be able to focus. Whether it's the most ideal space or not the most ideal space, no one should be logging into their Google Meets underneath their covers in their bed. No one's going to get an optimal education by lying down. As comfy as it is, I totally get it. We want to make sure that we're sitting upright. And that allows us to really just be in the moment in our classes. Also, make sure, this goes without saying, make sure that you're wearing appropriate clothing, nothing that's going to distract anybody else in class, nothing that's going to offend anybody else in class. Make sure that you're dressed for success. Okay. Also, no one wants to hear everyone talking at the same time. So as soon as you log into a Google Meet, make sure that that your audio, your mic button has been muted. Another great feature is using the chat. It's a wonderful thing. It actually kind of makes the learning experience better than the in-person experience. So if at any point you have a question or if you have a resource that you think might help out your peers, use the chat. Going back to using microphones and muting yourself, if you have a question, use the chat, use the hand raise emoji, but don't just interrupt the teacher if the teacher is in the middle of talking. So you just got to wait your turn and let the teacher unmute you. And it goes without saying, no misuse of technology. Make sure that you are using your Chromebooks appropriately, that you're not on games when you should be in class, you're not looking up anything that you shouldn't, that you are using it for schoolwork so that there are, again, no distractions as you learn. So follow these behavioral expectations and you guys are going to have a fantastic online remote learning experience. Okay. That's all the heavy stuff. Now it's time for the good stuff. It is time for our joke of the day. But let me go get ready, okay? Just hold on 1 second. Okay, all right, welcome. How y'all doing today? Good? Good, that's great to hear. Hey, you know what I did over this weekend? I went apple picking. You guys ever been apple picking before? It's a great time. Oh, you love it? Yeah, no, I strongly recommend it to anyone that hasn't gone apple picking before. Apple picking is where it's at. Strangest thing happened though when I was apple picking, really weird. I saw two apples talking to each other. Never saw that before. Sat back and I listened to their conversation. Turns out one of them was kind of in the dumps, wasn't feeling good. And his buddy turned to him and said, "Hey man, what's eating you?" And his friend turns to him and says, "Worms, I think." Worms. I know, right? Worms. Gets you every time. And then I was still listening to them, and his buddy was really trying to cheer him up and said, "Hey man, let's get out of here. All right, you're feeling bad. You got worms eating you. Let's get out of here. The game's on. Let's go watch the game. Where should we go watch? Where do you feel comfortable?" And the other worm says, "Where should we watch the game? Only place we can watch the game. Man, we're going to apple Applebee's. Applebee's. Made for apples. And bees. Okay, guys. That's all I got here at the best middle school on the World Wide Web.